Hi crocheters of the world, in this tutorial we will work together, we will knit together on this beanie or beret. It's more a slouch beret that I knitted. This is my very first actually beret that I knitted. I've knitted for now, by now. It's really I really had lots of fun on working it, and maybe you will want to try it. It's not difficult at all. You don't have to work in round, you don't need circle or needles. Yes, you can work them with normal needles. It's really easy, believe me. The yarn that I use, it's a yarn that is suitable for 5 mm, so it's a kind of bulky yarn suitable for 5 mm hook and needle 5 mm needle, and the rest you will have in the tutorial, all that you need to knit this beret. What I want to say is the quantity of yarn that you need, it's about 100 grams, less than 100 grams for a woman size, adult woman size, let's say. In the tutorial I'll explain you how to work it larger or smaller, so in different sizes if you want to. It's really easy to alter too, so I think we can just give it a try. So let's knit a little bit. Even as crocheters, I think it's nice from time to time, so it's okay if we know to knit too. So this is my very first hat and knitted hat, and it is really my very first one, and I want to work it, knit it with you. So let's get some fun here. So we will need, you can use circular needles or like these needles, normal needles, classic needles, let's say, because we will work in rows and then we will sew at the end with the mattress stitch, so we don't have problems to work in a circle, so to work with magic loop maybe. Now I am working with a 5 mm, so with it's bulky yarn. It's a yarn suitable for 5 mm knitting needles, and you will need 4 mm knitting needle for the border, and of course 5 mm knitting needle for the rest of the hat. So 2 pairs of knitting needles. Now to begin, so I will cast on like this. So let us work exactly as for crochet. Let us work our slip knot, put it on one needle, and so this yarn is suitable for 5 mm hook, sorry, so that's why, that's another thing that I want to tell you. And now I will begin like this, insert hook. I already shown you this way of casting on, and I really love this way. I use it very I use it, I don't know, more than the long tail one. So insert hook into this second one like this and pull up a loop, pull the loop, twist, and put it again on, add it on your left needle, and again insert the right needle, pull up a loop, twist, and put it on the left needle, and just do it like this for, let me tell you how many, let me tell you how many stitches you need to put on, so to cast on. Actually it's a multiple of 4. We will work the border 2 per 2, which means 2 knit, 2 purl, and we will need a multiple of 4, and I will put 68. Now 68, working with a 4 mm hook and a 5 mm hook suitable yarn, is just a perfect measure So if you are a beginner on knitting, that's why I'm telling you, it's just perfect for a adult women's size. So if you need less or more, you add or put less 4 stitches. The multiple is 4, so I will put 68 stitches. I will cast on 68 stitches just with this so simple, so easy method. Even for crocheters, it really is easy. So I cast it on all my stitches. I have 68 stitches, and now we will begin to knit and purl. Knit 2, purl 2. It's very important for the very first 2 rows, let's say, until we can see exactly the where the knitting stitches are, where the purling stitches are. It's very important to keep on counting, or I don't know, tracking somehow the stitches, so we know that we will knit 2. When we begin with knit, we will slip stitch the very first, not into this one. We will just work them from the second, and where we will purl the first, we will slip as if purl. Okay, so 1 and 2, we begin with 2 knitted, and then we continue on with 2 purling. 1 and 2. Okay, so now we can see them. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and again knit 2, 1 and 2, and purl 2, 1 and 2, knit 2 and purl 2. We will finish with 2 purl. Okay, so we can already see where we have the knitting stitches and where we have the purl stitches. These are purls, these are knitted. So with this little bump here, okay, these are purl. Okay, and I will continue on like this along the row. So knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. To the end, we will end with purl. I finished my first row, and what I want to say is that I will continue on for 9 rows more. So I will have a border of 10 rows. You can continue on, you can make it longer, larger, longer or shorter as you wish. What I want to tell you is that you will always finish a row of the border with it's here. You will always finish the row of the border with 2 purl stitches, and you will always begin a row with 2 knit stitches, and you will begin from the second row by slip stitching as if to knit the very first stitch, like this. Just slip stitch. The second will be worked, will be knitted, and now we go on with 2 purl, 2 knit to the end, and we will finish with 2 purl, and we will begin with 2 knit. 1 will be slipped as if to knit, and the other one of the first 2, okay, and the other now 1 will be just knit, and then 2 purl, 2 knit, and so on. As you can see from the second row, we already have the pattern, and we already see it well, so we cannot go wrong. Okay, so it's enough if you work just the first 2 rows without interruption, and then you will be able to continue on even if you leave apart a little bit your work. I finished my border. This is how it looks, and now I just want to begin. Before I will begin with the pattern stitch, I want to work a knit row, so to knit a row actually, and to add 24 more stitches. Even if you have more or less stitches for the border, so the circumference of the head, you will need to work this step. So what is the meaning of adding 24 stitches randomly? So where you want, you just increase, but there must be 24 increases. Now to increase, I will slip stitch the first as if to knit. To increase, work one stitch like this, knit and knit again on the back side like this. Okay, so I have 2 stitches, and then I just continue on and I put another one like this, 1 and 2, knit some more, and this is the third. So knit normally and then insert the needle on the back side and knit one more. Okay, and that's it. So 24 times. I added my 24 increases randomly, my 24 stitches, and now I have from 68 I have 92 stitches. And what I want to do is to work another row. I will purl another row and then I will begin with the pattern stitch. But what I want to say is that from now on knitting rows, on the knitting rows, we will slip as if to knit the first stitch, and on the wrong side, so on the purling, let's say, side, we will purl. We will slip as if to purl, so like this. Okay, just slip the very first stitch, and this is very important for the border line. Okay, so just because we want to have a very nice border. Okay, and now I just want to purl all. And what I want to do, sorry, I forgot to tell you something very important. Switch to your 5 millimeters needle. Okay, so now with this row on the wrong side, we want to switch to our 5 millimeters needle. Okay, by working all the stitches on it. Okay, now I am ready. I am on the right side and I will switch to my circular needle because it's really easier for me. If you are not used to the circular needle, it's better if you try to practice with them because are more comfortable, believe me. Now what I want to do is to work the pattern stitch for the zigzag knitting stitch that I put the video on the iCard. You can just touch the screen if you are watching from a mobile device. Touch the screen, so on the right side you will see the eye, and you can touch the eye and you will have the videos that I put there for you as suggestion. It's a zigzag stitch. So the only thing is that on the right side we will slip as if to knit, and on the wrong side we will slip as if to purl the first stitch, and at the end on the front, on the right side, we will knit the last, and on the wrong side we will purl the last. So that's all the difference. So slip as if to knit, and now we will knit in pairs. So we will knit the second, but on the back side like this, and then we will come back and knit the first. Okay, and again the same thing. It's not okay. So we knit the second on the back side and then we knit the first. I don't know why it's not. Okay, so we knit the second from the back and the first then from the, so normally, and again we knit the second from the back. It's this yarn that it's a little bit difficult to work with, but I really like it. And then the first from the front, so normally. Okay, so this is it. So we skip the first, we knit the second from the back, and then the first as normally. We go on like this. Okay, and this is the first. So you will finish with a knit stitch. The last will be a knit stitch on the front, and the first is the slip as if to knit on the front. Let me finish the first row of the pattern. I finished my first row, so the front, front side row, knitted row. You cannot see yet the pattern, but I just want to show you for the next. It's the wrong side. We purl and we slip as if to purl the first, and we purl the last. And for the rest of the stitches we work in pair, and we purl the second, we leave it there, and then we purl the first, and we go with both. Okay, so it's more or less the same as we did on the front side, only that we purl, we knot like this. Okay, and we continue on like this. So we purl the second, we skip the first, and we purl the first, and then we just go with both on the other needle, so on the right needle. So purl the second. Oh my gosh, this is a yarn that it's not easy to show with, but you already have the video. And now the second, like this. And we go on the other side. Now another pair of stitches. We purl the second, we leave it there, so we have it like this, and now we purl the first. Okay, and now we can see the beauty of it. Okay, and I will just continue on for the length that I need, and then I will be back to show you how to put some decreases for the crown of the head. So I come back because I'm ready to begin the upper part. So to begin with the decreases, I went on for a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 and 21 rows, but for a total length of 15 centimeters. So this is the total length, border plus the head. All we will need are 5. I have only 4 here. I will take one more. So 5 markers, and you have the link of how you can obtain this at home. It's really easy, or you can of course buy them. 5 markers, and it's really easy. All that we need are these markers. Are very important to get our work easier, our decreasing work. Okay, now another thing, it's that I have 92 stitches all around, and I won't count the first and the last, and I divided 90 by 5, and it's 18. So I will count 18, the first and the last I don't want to count them. Now I will work my I will work my, I will knit because it's the knitting side, so the front side. I will knit, so the first and the last won't count. Knit and count 18 and I will put the marker. Knit and count 18 and put the marker, and so on. Now I will work 5 decreases, but just because my number can be easily, perfectly actually divided, the number of my stitches can be perfectly divided by 5. You can put 4 or 6. So these are the decreases that you can put for your hat. So the number of your stitches can go more or less perfectly. Even if they are not exactly the same, so it's not divisible perfectly, you can just put, let's say, 10, a group of 10, a group of 11, a group of 12. Okay, so you can just play with the numbers a little bit, so you can have more or less groups, more or less the same number of stitches. And this particular pattern stitch, we have pairs, so you can, if you don't have exactly the same number of groups, so your number is not divisible, as I said, perfectly, you can put 10 and 12. Okay, so 2 groups of 10, 2 groups of 12, or 3 of 10 and 2 of 12, just to give you an example. Okay, so I will work this, I will knit this, because as I said, I am on my knitting side, on my front side. Isn't it just lovely? And now so the first one I will just skip it, and I will knit in pattern 18, and I will put the marker, that's all. So nothing special, nothing difficult, and I will go on and put the markers like this, counting 18 and put the marker, and at the end I will put the last marker actually before the last stitch. So exactly before the last stitch. Now let me just work this row and put all the markers, and then I will also work the purl row, so the wrong side row, and then I will be back to show you actually how to decrease, because it's really easy, believe me. The most important thing is to put your markers, and then it's just a piece of cake. Okay, I finished the row and I have all my 5 markers here. As you can see, this is the first, then 18 more, the second 18 more, the third 18 more, the fourth 18 more, and the last, the fifth. Okay, with the decreases we will begin in a purl row. So even if you are working with other number of stitches, you will begin in a purl row, and when we purl we will decrease after the marker, these two. We will work these two together after each marker. Okay, when we knit, the decrease will be on the right side of the marker, of each marker. When we purl, the decrease is on the left side of each marker. Actually, it's better like this, the explanation. Okay, it has more sense. So let us begin with the very first. We will work in pattern till the end. I will just slip the marker too, and as I said, I will work these two together, purl these two together. Okay, so insert hook through, needle through both, and purl them together. And this is my first decrease, exactly the same. Now I will work the rest of my stitches, 16 stitches, because I had 18. and 2, I work 2 together, so 16 stitches. I will work till the next marker, and then again the same thing, the first 2 after the marker together, and so on till the end. So that's why I said it's so easy. You just cannot go wrong. But these, the rest of my pairs, I will work them, so 16 stitches that I have, I will work them in pattern. So as I said before, we will work in pattern till the end. Okay, so I work my decrease, and here I have only 1 stitch, and then 16 stitches, so there will be 8 more pairs, and then again the marker, so after the marker on the left side of the marker a decrease, and then the pairs that you will work them in pattern. Okay, so exactly the same thing, decrease and the rest in pattern, decrease these 2 on the left side of the marker and like this, and at the end of course decrease on the left side of the marker and the rest in pattern. And this will be the very first row of decreases. We can also put a marker here, a normal marker, so like this, normal. It's that the markers that I use. So now I know that this was the very first row of decreases. Okay, so I have the pair and this one more left to the marker, so 3 stitches to the marker. Okay, and when you have 3 stitches more to the marker, you have to work this in pattern. So you will work the second first, and you will insert hook from the back side, and you want to work the decrease too, so insert not hook, needle on the back side, this one too, just to have 2 stitches. Oh my gosh, this yarn is not very, so I have both of them here. Okay, so skip this, insert hook through this one and through this one, and now I have both, and I will work the stitch and decrease, and now I will work the first, and this is what I have. This is my decrease. Now I have again a even number of stitches, and I will repeat on the wrong side. Of course I will continue on like this for all of my 5 groups. So now I work again the same thing. The last 3 I will work like this, and when I will be back on the wrong side, I will actually work 2 together. Okay, on the left side of each marker, 2 together, and on the wrong side you will always have even number, on the right side you will always have odd number, and you will work as I shown you till, as I said, you will remain with 2, maybe 3 stitches on one group. I am not talking about the first and the last, that those stitches will be there. Okay, so I am actually working on my third. I just turn back to show you again, on my third group of 17, and with my decrease I will have 16. So I had 18, then I work on wrong side, I purled a decrease for each group, and I remained with 17. Now I have 17, and I just want to show you how to decrease. On my 2 groups that I already worked the decrease, I have 16. And here 1, 2, 3. So insert the needle from the back on this one and on this one too, and work the stitch and the decrease, and then come back and work the first. And here we have, pass the marker and go on I have 2 more. And now, as I said, on one group we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. So I have again an even number of stitches. On the wrong side, I will work exactly as I worked into the first row of decreases. So on the left side of the marker, I will work 2 together, and I will remain with a odd number of stitches, and so on. So repeat these 2 rows until I don't know, 2 or 3 stitches you will have on each group, because we have our 5 groups here of decreases. So I finished with the increases. I began here, you can see actually where, but I also have the marker put on. This is the part of the decreases. I can tell you how many rows I worked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, I think. I have 3 in between the markers, 3 stitches. I finished with a pearl, so on the wrong side with a pearl row. And now what I want to do is to bind off and to sew to finish my hat. So to bind off, I will just slip the first, work the second, and insert the left needle into the first stitch and just pull it over the second and down. And this is how we cast off or bind off. So again, I knit the stitch and then I insert the needle into the first and pull it over the second and off the needle. And we just continue on for all the stitches that remain. So when you get to the marker, simply take it off. We don't actually need it anymore. Obvious. And I will just continue on like this. So I am ready to work with my mattress stitch to close my my hat. And here on the wrong side I cut a longer line yarn, and on the wrong side I will close it here at the end. And this is my first knitting hat, so it's not that difficult after all. Okay, so for the mattress stitch, just insert hook into the very first. You know you have, let me just zoom in a little bit, you have the stitches here on the sides, and we just want to insert into the first, and then I will insert the needle here into the first, up from this side to bottom, and I will go out into the next. And I already began the stitch, and then I will come back here, insert hook into this one, and go out into the next. And where I came out, I will insert the needle and I will come up into the next, and so on. Again, the same thing on the other side, and stitch, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, and then close. pull to close the. Now here, and then I just want to be sure that this is the next. Just continue like this. Oh, I also have a nice knot here. This is not something that I want, but you know. Oh, it's really a nice knot, double knot. I must fix it before I go further. Actually, I cannot go further if I don't fix. So here I am with my finished product. It's my hat, it's finished, and actually now I just want to measure it just to be sure. I give you all the information. So it's, as you can see, about 21-22 centimeters from the top to the border. So it's a little bit slouch, and actually this is what I wanted to obtain. And I might say it's, here it is, my mattress stitch joining on the wrong side, and I want to say that I am quite satisfied actually with the result. You can try it, it's not difficult. As you can see, this is my very first knitted beanie, and from time to time, as I said, I like to try to knit some things too. So leave me in the comment below what kind of knitting tutorials do you want to see from me. Scarves, neck warmers, I don't know, maybe we can work a neck warmer for this one. I have more yarn of this, so we can. Just you tell me. I will be so happy to try some new things in knitting too. So thank you for joining, thank you for watching this tutorial, and hope you enjoy it. Hope you will try, give it a try. And don't forget to subscribe if you want, if you like my tutorials on crochet, Tunisian crochet, and knitting from time to time. It's knitting for crocheters actually. And if you want to share with me a project that you worked following one of my tutorials, I am always happy to see them. You can just leave me a message, private message on my Facebook page. You can join my group on Facebook, it's Crochet with Oana, or you can just tag me on Instagram. As I said, I am always happy to see your projects. I am always happy to leave you a nice comment, as you leave me so many beautiful, beautiful comments. See you at the next tutorial. Bye bye.